Welcome to Fan TV and Chill Match Day 20 and 21. Happy New Year. Hope everybody had a nice New Year's Eve. We are out here living it up. What are you doing? What? 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 Pepe looking to see what Arsenal are in the league? Mind you. But anyway, let's carry on. Let's carry on before I was really interrupted. Anyway, Happy New Year. Hope everybody had a good New Year's Eve. Again, certain man want to make comments out here, but yet they forget what the league table looks like. But that's another story for another day. Anyway, but we'll get to it. So big game, Man United versus Arsenal.
It's Arsenal, man.
And then. Like I said, Man United versus Arsenal, and then Liverpool top dog first. Man United versus Arsenal. But because technically, if we're going to talk about the game, even though we're going to do it together, I should go first.
You can talk about your loss.
Again.
You can talk about your loss, man.
Again, normally. Listen, let me be clear. Let me be crystal clear. Normally, when a team losers, what should happen is they're the team, for them to be even coming and say, you know what, yes, I'm the man, this and this. Like, you need to also be above us in the league. Yes, you got the win. I'm not taking that away from you, but we're still above you in the league. And at this moment in time, we're closer to a Champions League spot than you are. But anyway, are you in the Champions League? Let's carry on. Let's carry on.
Just do the intro.
Let's hype up, but let's carry on. So, like I said, Man United versus Arsenal and Liverpool versus Sheffield United. So let's get to it. Liverpool first.
I might as well just sit my tea and let you guys be a big for a minute.
There's a big to do.
It's not what the feet can do. Man, what the feet
some like lower league like competition and that. Come on, man. Like you might have your thing and have your shine.
Listen, don't chat shit 1 week about I need to go first. I'm top Donny. Just do.
2020. That was 2019.
Yeah. So you're a changed man,
Changed.
Shit.
I'm learning, innit? I'm learning.
Shit, get a new barber as well. 2020.
True. Family. When you have a fresh team here, like remember that someone.
Listen, dude, come on. Come on.
Like you know what I mean? Like
come on.
Slow down, fam. You know what I mean? Let's not go personal.
Come on. I go first. I'm telling you,
let's not do that, fam. You know what I mean? But like I said, new year, new me. Like, so this is a new decade, fam. So I might be different. So I'm learning that it's okay to let other people shine as well. You know what I mean? It can't just be all about us. I'm bored of being at top. And I know we haven't won anything, but like, come on, man. The way we smashing teams, no homo, but shit. Are we even allowed to? Fuck this thing.
What's wrong with you?
Shit. You have to end this bit.
Stop acting, just hurry up. What do you think?
You have to end it. Jesus Lord.
Yeah.
Hey, I said I'm a new guy in there, but obviously, come on, man. Little slip ups here and there, but yeah, man. So yeah, Liverpool, Sheffield United, at Anfield. I mean, on paper, an easy game, innit? Yes, technically, it should be. But the way things are gone this season, and Sheffield United are a good team, innit? And I don't know. Obviously, I didn't really know much about them when in the championship, but I don't know how much investment. Did they invest too much, like when they came up, or they just came with?
I don't know if they had Musa. They didn't have Musa. I don't think they had some other brother that used to play.
But the majority will be like core.
Yeah.
The same team that came up. Wow. They're an incredible team, man, and just an incredible manager as well. And yeah, a lot of respect for them. And obviously going into that game, again, I've said it again and again and again. It's that this time of the season where you're just praying that the players can still like put up some sort of performance, and more importantly, get results. But yeah, and you couldn't really ask for more for the guys. And like even the start of the game, you're already seeing Naby Keita gets injured in the warm up. You're thinking, fuck. Not like fuck, we're gonna lose the game. I'm more like thinking, this is the sort of thing, because these games is about, as much as anything, our squad is quite thin at the minute. Like even in midfield, our bench is quite. There wasn't anyone on the bench really, like youth players and that. And you're thinking we can't really afford to, and playing teams that are gonna come and potentially fight. It's kind of a dangerous time to play them as well, because you're gonna have to be up for it. But the amazing thing is, like, Liverpool just nullified them. Like, I know you expect Liverpool to dominate when you play against Sheffield, but that game felt like, you know what I mean? It felt like we were just so dominant, like in every single department, so dominant from the get go. And luckily for us, when you play against these teams, you got to start on the front foot. And if you get an early goal, that changes a lot, and it eases the pressure on yourself, and it makes them think twice, and they have to maybe go to plan B, and that's when you start to probably break them down a bit more, etc. But I felt like, obviously, Salah got the goal, and then they never really changed too much, because even at 1-0, you still feel like, they might get, from their point of view, they might look at it like, you know what, we're Anfield, we expect to be 1-0 down potentially, but if we might get a set piece, or we might get, so they never really changed too much, so they were still quite compact, and it was more the case of, quite respectful. They allowed Liverpool to have the ball in our own half, and it was about us, like, trying to penetrate and trying to cut them down, like break them down, and obviously creativity in the middle was quite difficult, because Keita would have been a perfect person to play that game, and but unfortunately for him, he got injured, but then obviously we had to provide it from the width, as they always do anyway. Trent Arnold should have had another assist when he played the ball to Salah, and then obviously Salah had a shot, brilliant save by the keeper. We created a few more. Whether that, I think in the first half again, no, maybe I'm getting lost. But either way, we created enough chance in the first half that we could have maybe gone 2-0 up, and that scoreline changes so much, and because they gotta change, they gotta either say, okay, do we really just want to get beat, or are we gonna try to come out? And obviously that's another dangerous. That's when they become a bit open. But I mean, it was a simple game in a way that the team went about that game like in a very, very professional manner, and we kept it simple. We retained the ball. We kept the ball more at the back, more than sometimes I was getting frustrated. But I think hindsight, you're thinking this was more of a tactical way. I think they were more efficient to an extent. It meant they had to run less, and they were quite conservative in their way. Like, play those safer balls, and if Sheffield are going to try to do anything, they have to come out. So we win in the game anyway, so it didn't really matter too much, and it worked for us. And I was amazed, like, when I watched like the commentary. I wasn't amazed, but it's just, to get another manager to come in and acknowledge the other team. Obviously, you expect Liverpool to beat them on quality, but the things that they were saying are how, they work harder than them, and they were winning second balls, they were running more than them. It's just impressive, and just like testament to an incredible team that this group of players are. And from the game, like, you can see, like, the likes of Henderson, he was there everywhere, making challenging, winning the game. Joe Gomez had a solid game. Obviously, Van Dijk doing what he does, and Mane again, and just outstanding performance. Sometimes I was on the edge of my seat every time these guys were sprinting. I'm like, the last thing I want here is like a little hamstring injury somewhere. But we came out of that game,
well,
dominated, got the 3 points, got goals at key moments. The early one were vital, and then obviously later on in the second half, it just killed the momentum, isn't it? They had a little bit of a spell where I think we're already like maybe 2-0 up, where I think it was more us than anything. I think games like that, sometimes you're gonna lose a bit of concentration here and there, but it didn't happen for too long. It was like about 5 minutes or something like that. But
do anything. I thought coming into the game, I thought you will win the game, but I thought they would make it harder for you, and they might have one or two chances where they might just get a goal here and there, and then just defend. And
but we didn't allow it to happen. We didn't allow it.
No,
it's not even about. I don't think it's not even about them like being able to. We just didn't allow that to happen. I think the difference in class was obvious, and Liverpool have matured a lot in a way. Like we've got different ways of playing, and I think even just keeping the ball, keeping it fairly basic. I think that was one of the game plan, and we've got different artilleries, isn't it? So you can see it's a dangerous game for any man, especially these teams. Like we 1-0 up, we keeping the ball at the back. If you want the ball really come out, okay. If you come out, you got to deal with Trent Arnold, you got to deal with Van Dijk, you got to deal with Robertson. Not just pinging those balls. Then you got to deal with the front three. Then can you really handle that? So it creates a bit of a situation, and but we just better than them by far, and it was obvious to see. And 3 points. What an incredible run! Like it's like all these run of fixtures to come out of the festive period, play like a few solid teams, and like we played Watford, I think before, but this is a Watford team that has a new manager. Obviously, we expect to win, but they're still gonna come and put a fight. We beat them. We play obviously Sheffield. We beat them. We play Everton prior to that. We trashed them, shit club, and then I can't remember what other team that we played. But even that, regardless of who you playing at this time, to get maximum points, 0 goal, like clean sheets, 5 clean sheets. Yeah, it's just incredible, and long may that continue, innit? And obviously, top of the league, the Premier League still goes on, and keep going from strength to strength. Let me just sip my tea and watch these. Watch the lesser team have their little battle, innit?
Sit back. Lesser teams.
Yeah.
Lesser teams.
Absolutely.
And again, I have every right to say this, yeah. Until you pick up the Premier League trophy. Don't talk about lesser teams. You might talk about Arsenal lesser teams in the trophy cabinet, but don't talk about Man United lesser teams. Yeah. But anyway, let's get to it. Are you done? Yeah. Cool. Right. Let's get to it. Gonna keep this nice and short and simple.
You best keep it nice and short and simple.
Yeah, again, certain people want to hype up, and it's cool. They want the.
It's the same way you hyped up when you drew against them, man.
Win the game.
The same way you hyped up you drew against them.
I'm not talking about him.
I'll just let you know. When you drew against them, you did the same thing. I like it.
But anyway, let's get to it.
When the BC,
bro, bigging up singing.
Even though the tally is different.
Let's
so
get
when
to it.
you're there.
No, I'm not. What happens is, yeah, we've taken a loss. I'm here defending my position just like you would be, or just like you would be. Yeah, but you keep out of it. It's not you anyway.
It's not.
But anyway, let's get to it.
Nah.
Man United versus Arsenal. Let's get Man United. First thing I want to start with is tactics. Listen, Lingard has to be dropped.
Bam.
Let me just make. I don't know how much more I can stress this. If he needs to go play reserves, he needs to go play reserves. No, on a serious note, he just needs to be dropped. He's not performing. Hasn't been performing for the last year.
And
he needs to get the just the last 15 minutes of games until he gets a goal or an assist, and then he just builds confidence or something. Like that's the first thing in that middle of the pack.
Yeah, it's too much to do. It's too much to do.
And then
there's too much of that.
And then
the
next problem in midfield, Matic, like if we can get rid of him in January, that would be perfect, because this guy adds nothing to the midfield. Even as a replacement, a backup, he's just slow. His passing is all right, but apart from that, he's added nothing to the team and to the counter-attacking side of it. He's just been just isn't helping. What?
I'm just coming on this one. Obviously, did Matic start?
Yes, he did.
And did Lingard start?
Yes, he did.
Where did Lingard play?
Lingard was playing behind the front two.
Behind the front two, cool. And then who else did you have in the middle?
Fred.
Cool. So obviously, we did a lot of work. Obviously, our sectors, obviously Xhaka, Torreira, they put in a lot of hard work. There's a lot of.
But I wasn't even talking about the game.
I'm just saying, obviously, you're talking about the way they play, so obviously.
No, but I'm not talking about the game, and I'm not talking about the way Arsenal played. I'm just talking about before we even get to that, about how we Matic shouldn't be starting, and it was with them three in the middle. They're like Fred. Like, listen, Fred does all right. He does what he needs to do. He's a good at this moment. Like, he's been a good backup player. But the problem again with Fred, when we get another midfielder, he needs to go on the bench. And obviously we didn't have McTominay, and McTominay has been playing well this season. And obviously we haven't had Pogba. So that three there is already weak. And then getting on to let's go to the back four. Fuck's sake, Harry Maguire. He's fucking been given the captain armband. Like, I have to stress, like, you have to take more responsibility for that back four. Luke fucking Shaw, fam, you need to see your gym specialist.
You got
I don't know what you're doing. What?
Luke Shaw.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
No, I just want to get to that. We've got 6 minutes in. We ain't said nothing about the game.
We're talking about the major players.
I'm talking about the team. But anyway,
we're getting to the game.
Brandon Williams should have started that game.
You know what's when you get a lucky win, you come here, you hype. Oh, Fred is like,
he's on.
Listen. When I was chatting there, did you hear me? I wasn't criticising Fred. I was just saying he's been a good backup player. But we need other central midfielders, and it doesn't. Exactly, and it doesn't help when we have those three there together. But anyway, getting onto the game. First, we probably just had in that first half, we probably just had 5 to 10 minutes where we played okay, and then after that
I think it was like this. You started off well, you had a chance at the start, and then that was it. Then after that, we dominated the whole half. We worked harder than you. We played better football than you. We had better tactical nous than you. We seemed as if we were all our players were singing off the same hymn sheet. Your players seemed to be lack of confidence, lack of direction, lack of section to score that chance for the year, turned Maguire in the box. But we just seemed to be, we worked hard. Not only did we have the quality, we worked harder.
You want to hear a joke statistic? I don't know if you know about this. When you say about working hard, what things in mind? That's a bit of a shock right now. So you hear the thing about Mesut Ozil?
Yeah, man putting in work.
What the fuck?
Closing down. Everyone was closing down the team.
Ozil run more than most.
But yeah, carry on first half. Yeah, Arsenal were well structured, and obviously they've clearly been working on it on the training ground a lot. So it paid off. Especially that first half. I thought after that first half an hour where who was it? Is it Pepe? Pepe scored his goal.
He was lucky how it came to him. But let's even talk about the first goal. Fucking Luke Shaw again. Like I watched the replay and I can see Luke Shaw. He looks round. He sees there's 2 Arsenal players there. He sees Pepe as one of them, but yet he still stands off him, and it's so annoying because that's like an amateur footballer. Like, you can see the players there. You need to close that gap down so if the ball comes, he doesn't have the run on you, and that's what happens. He has the run on Luke Shaw, and he gets there, and it's in the back of the net. Fam.
And then obviously we go on to the second. So who got your second goal?
The second before the second goal, obviously we had. A few more chances before we scored the second. We had obviously the chance from
Pepe hit the post.
Yeah, we had a chance from Pepe. Obviously, that comes from the mistake that De Gea. It was clear it got blocked by Lacazette. It dropped to Pepe. He turned Maguire, I think it was, and then whipped it, hit the post. Obviously, then we had the other chance when Trevor in the edge box, good endeavour, just whistled past De Gea's left post, and also then we also had the chance when I think it was Pepe crossed it in, and Lacazette do an acrobatic chance which just went over one. I can't remember one of the two. And then we also had the chance when obviously Lacazette, like I said before, he just turned Maguire in the box, and it was a poor finish to be fair. It was left that went out for a throw, but should have scored that. And obviously then we got the goal, which came from again. Was it from a corner? Was it?
Corner, yeah.
Yeah, it was from a corner.
Let's talk about the fucking corner. Right, so you got Rashford front post. Fucking hell, if you're standing at that front post, you have to go attack the ball. Second thing, I don't know who the fuck was following Socrates. It's fucking simple. Follow your fucking man. It's not hard. We're doing man-to-man defending. Follow your man. Like, if Arsenal are going to score a goal, make them score from not their heads, from feet, from good creative play. Not fucking easy Follow your man. It's just basic Sunday league football stuff. If your man runs, run with him. Especially when he's one of the centre backs and you've given him a run on the head. And if Rashford's going to play front post, you've got to go and attack that ball. Like, you've got to put everything into it. Like, get a concussion, I don't care. But you've got to attack the ball. Like, do your job. And after that, that's game over. That's game over. And what frustrated me even more was that Ollie didn't see how shit we were playing. He didn't see how shit we were playing. So we've already got 3 players in the centre of the pack who are not the most creative and haven't been performing. And we're already 2-0 down away to an Arsenal side who look structured and are ready to keep pounding us. Like, that first half an hour, he should have taken off Lingard and brought off Greenwood. It should have just been first half an hour.
To be fair, this is how the game ran for Chelsea, and it's exactly the same thing. And then Frank Lampard took off some of them.
But look at it this way.
First half.
Look at it from this perspective. Yeah, you've got Jesse Lingard playing there, who hasn't been assisting, who hasn't been scoring goals. We're already 2-0 down. Clearly, his confidence is low. What's he going to do now? He's going to start overthinking and overcomplicating shit. Take him off. That first half an hour, he shouldn't have started. Bring Mason Greenwood on and kick on from there. And again, even Pereira should have been on the pitch as well. He's actually been a good player. Either Pereira or Mason Greenwood starts. Just don't start Ling. But anyway, so Ollie, he wasn't brave enough to change the tactics. And then
in the second half, I think we were more reserved in the second half, and obviously you had more territory in play.
Yeah, but we didn't. We didn't do much with it. There wasn't, again, from the lack of having Fred, having Matic, and having Jesse Lingard, who's not in form. The passes weren't, like, the ball wasn't getting through enough to Rashford or Martial or James, and that's where he's got to change it. He's got to change it. If we're not doing it, then, because we've started 4-5-1, we're already 3-0. We're already 2-0 down. It's not like in that position, really, we might as well lose the game. So we've got to go for it. So maybe we should change to a 4-3-3 and try to stretch Arsenal a bit more instead of. But we just didn't. We made substitutions, but then we didn't really change our style of play because we didn't create enough, and it was noticeable. It looked like we didn't have a plan B.
So even when you did pressure, there wasn't really much that was really making us worry too much. Even the chances that you had, they were kind of like half-y kind of chances. There wasn't anything really, I would say. I think that one chance when I think Matic played a little slip ball through in Pereira, but it's on kind of like a acute angle, hits the side netting. It's not really.
But you sound like you expected Man U to go there and trash Arsenal. You sound very disappointed.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I expected a 110% better performance than the way we played. I didn't expect the game to be over in the first half an hour, and then for us to come out second half and not even really threaten Arsenal.
The thing is, with my point of view is, from what I've been saying in previous weeks, this result to me is not a surprise. It's been leading up to this. The only surprise was that we didn't concede, because with Arteta's tactics, which I include the Chelsea game, players at the end of the game they're tired. They are tired at the end of the game. Even David Luiz said it in his interview after the match. He was like, so tired. Obviously, they don't feel as fit as they should be. But once they do feel more fitter, the way that Arteta wants us to play is going to be lucrative to the way our fitness levels are high. So, which again equates to the poor ending to the Chelsea game. But I just don't feel as if Man United have the quality that Chelsea have to cause us the harm that Chelsea did. I know obviously their first goal was a bit fortuitous in their game when playing against Chelsea, but overall, I'm more fearful of Chelsea.
Because Chelsea can actually probe that.
Yeah.
I don't think United can do that too well.
Exactly.
I think because I think it suited you guys because you have a lead, you're protecting the lead, and one thing that United can't do, they can't. You know, when you sat back, they can't really do anything.
For real, their counter attacks, so they're looking for us to for winning them countless. So it kind of worked.
Yeah, man.
So yeah. And was in that Pepe that doing his thing and that Nando's chicken and that doing his thing and that getting the goals and that man like Pepe was rinsing Luke Shaw on that rinsing Luke Shaw. Like listen, there's one bit really he turned Luke Shaw, put him to the floor, let man get up, turned him again. Like that's the kind of shit you want to see.
But Pepe is a good player. Man. I think he's just had it. Yeah, he hasn't had a good season yet.
His first decent game of the season, so that's it's all good. It's all good.
But technically, I think
anyway,
he's a good player. He'll come good.
Anyway, keep it moving. You got to take losses as they come. Take the L's as they come. But ultimately, it's all about how the season ends. But when the L's come, you take them, you move on, and it is what it is. Because one thing I know, your time comes, and then you'll be the one giving the L. But anyway, we got the special mention this week.
But just before I said it, obviously, like below that said, obviously, in terms of like yourself, you should expect results like this. Because obviously, like I said, like you said at the start of this, we're like in 10th in that, so we're down there. So you should expect results like we're giving you from teams that are up and around us.
Trust me.
But respect my youth.
Expect results from lesser teams.
Yeah, like I said, we're 10th, so you should expect.
It's a common theme, man. Like you can't beat teams that are below you. Like you can't do it.
Okay.
Well, we're talking stats, innit? We're talking numbers.
Because he put it up, he did say it. He said we're down there, so we should be pumped up.
You still beat a few teams, and then you skip up. And then how many defeats this season? It's quite high. You know what I mean? So not for where you're aiming to be, mad. And again, but it's about motivation, isn't it? I wonder what the team talk was this time.
Because technically speaking, it's Arsenal.
I wonder who done it.
Regardless, so
I wonder who did the team talk.
So it should lead to.
Anyway, let's get to it. Any special mentions this week?
I think Watford beat Wolves at home.
That's a strong win too. Considering, Was there anything else?
West Ham beat Bournemouth 4-0 at home.
What else? Was there
Can't think of anything really.
Do I really have to say something as well?
What?
In a weird kind of way, maybe this is me with my bias. VAR, Liverpool happened, and well.
Anyway, until next week.
Shut the fuck up.
Until next week.
Let me talk. Like, don't make me racially abuse you on this podcast.
What? Go on, say what you want to say.
Bruv, poor respect. I appreciate when people deserve credit and like put our biases necessarily.
Just get to it. Just get to it, and I'll give respect where it's due. If you're making a good point,
bruv. To come out this period and bang every single team and put in a performance. I know it's only Sheffield, but Sheffield have given even the likes of City tough games, and they trust you. And even though you got a lucky spell and you drew them. They beat you, right?
No.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Remember that they beat you when you went up north on the Monday night. That was peak. But no, I'm saying I'm not looking at just the simple game in it. I'm looking at the man.
You're talking about the single game then. Because you're not talking about the single game. You're talking about.
I'm talking about private. Come on, like just.
Listen, I'm trying to help you in it. I'm trying to.
So now we can add periods to one game special mention. Let's talk about this period.
Maybe there should just be a little bit more of an appreciation to say, yo, you know what? Just give Liverpool another special mention in it. But we top of the league, and we already.
Listen, to be fair,
and on top of that, bruv, it's an entire year since we lost we lost a game of football.
So we give a special mention for your performance for the year now,
bruv. Just look at that. Just look at that, yeah.
Because
the criteria changes now, yeah. Okay. Let me go back to that Leicester mention.
Okay.
That was back in.
Okay, fine. But there's certain.
When we get to the end of the season and we review
there's just certain milestones.
But next week, I get what you're saying. Next week,
no mention.
Next week we'll do our mid-season review.
You
and you can mention that. That could be mentioned.
This
but
was
when we're doing
this was an
it's
entire
about one
year.
game.
This was an entire year, and it's the timing
I
of
think
it.
you still got Chelsea above you, and you still got Arsenal above you. So don't worry about that. What in terms of the record for going?
No. I'm talking about an entire year since they lost a league match. So I can't. And it happened on the 3rd. The last time we lost a game would have been City on the 3rd of January last year. So, bruv, come on, man. I have to bring these things up because I know pagans, as much as they like.
No, we're going to do the mid-season review. It's just the one game. You're taking away credit from Watford winning. You know what I mean? Just for Liverpool. Like, if this was me, if Man United was sitting top of the league and I was doing this, I'll be getting sting like, what are you doing? This is not how it goes. Do you know what I'm saying?
If I impose,
you'd be sparking.
You'd be sparking. I'm just giving my opinion.
You'd be sparking.
Bro, but it's alright.
But anyway,
it's alright.
But anyway, we'll keep it moving. FA Cup next week, and we'll be doing our mid-season review next week, where you can actually give credit to your own team if you want to, but don't take away credit from others. Do you know what I'm saying? Give credit where it's due. But until next week, please follow, subscribe, like, share, watch the videos with your gal as well. Pop. Happy New Year.
Yeah, man.